Hello everyone and welcome to Heel Mania, also known as Webcam Wrestling. And today we are doing my review for the 2018 Royal Rumble. And I just gotta start off by saying this was a hell of a fucking show. This is one of, if not my favorite pay-per-views since WrestleMania. I had a really good time for this one. I just had a bunch of people over. I did what you do for all the Royal Rumbles, which is, to hype it up as much as possible. And this time, unlike, with Orton winning and Reigns winning the couple of years before, I was actually happy with this Rumble. It was a good time. And now that I've had time to digest, watch the clips again, really, do some fantasy booking in my head, and to let the hangover wear off, I am finally now ready to do my video. And just so we're clear, this was my drinking rules for the 2018 Royal Rumble. I had drink for every correct prediction, which I'll go into that as I do the video. Drink for every, and by drinks I don't mean take shots. I mean you take a sip of whatever you're sipping on. Drink for every elimination. Drink for every time they say Royal Rumble, which is a lot. Drink for every time Brock suplexes somebody. He didn't do as many suplexes, but he did like a lot back to back. Drink for every time they say the big dog. That's you got to put that on every pay-per-view. You know they only set like once or twice. Drink for every false finish. Take a shot for every debut or return. I gave up on that because that would have been way too much. There was like 20, I felt like, returns or debuts. Fuck that. And then take a shot for every title change or Rumble win. And there was only one title change. And god damn, what a night. I'm just gonna start by getting into it. I do want to say real quick that the Royal Rumble is an amazing pay-per-view because wrestling, sometimes you're hyping things way longer than you're actually getting the final product, and sometimes the hype is better than the final product. We've had a lot of like mediocre WrestleManias, and then like, but the Rumble before that or something like that will be amazing. And some of those matches are just like, and the booking and the lead up to it is just like, whatever. But the hype and the Rumble, when you're doing all the fantasy booking, when you're doing all these fun things, that is what wrestling is, and that's what makes it fun for me. That is what I love. And that's why I love the Rumble almost as much as I love WrestleMania. But let's get into it. The WWE title match was the opening match. I'm not doing the pre-show, by the way. It's not worth talking about. There's Kevin and Sami in a handicap match against AJ Styles, and if Kevin and Sami win, they are co-champion. Stupid rule, stupid stipulation. It should have been a normal handicap match where whoever gets the pinfall gets the belt. And, I saw commercials where that's how they were booking it. But at the same time, then they had this co-champion thing. The lead up to this, like this whole Shane McMahon Daniel Bryan thing, is not like one of my least favorite rivalries going on at the moment. I don't know what they're doing with it. I don't like that I'm seeing Shane McMahon this much, or that he's in this many rivalries every year. As much as I love the Hell in a Cell thing, this is not like what I wanted to be the fallout for that. I think that, Kevin and Sami obviously aren't going to win this. I want AJ to win. So I feel like it's kind of just a waste, Like, if the lead up to it was cool and we got to see a bunch of cool, like, Kevin being Kevin, AJ being AJ, Sami being Sami, that was only, like, nugget out of this. Like, I love seeing them, even though AJ's promos need a little bit more work as of late since he turned face. I still just love Kevin. I love kind of their back and forth, and they put on good wrestling matches. This wasn't like bad wrestling by any means. But that being said, there was another BS finish, another flunky like AJ Styles rolled up Kevin Owens when Kevin Owens didn't have the tag. We didn't think he would win by a roll up. Or at least, well, I thought he wasn't going to win clean, because you're not, like, Kevin and Sami should win, obviously, because Kevin should be, like, up to AJ Styles, like, level, and Sammy should obviously put him over, and they technically should win clean, but there was a BS finish, and I hope they're not extending this rivalry. I hope, like, this should be the end of this rivalry, but it's, like, I don't know if it's going to, but it should be, and this whole Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan thing should be done with by this point, but it's still going on. I don't know why. And, now we should be setting up Shinsuke and AJ, so like, this feels like a waste. It feels, Kevin and Sammy, they look good because they're in the main event of a WWE title match. I don't know. If anything, this isn't a bad booking choice. It's just the fact that we had to sit through so many mediocre SmackDowns to lead up to this. It's like, why did I watch all of that? And then after that, we had the Usos SmackDown Tag Title match versus Shelton and Gable, and I predicted that the Usos were going to lose. Like, even their speech down to the ring, I joked, I was like, this seems like the kind of promo people give when they're about to lose championships. Apparently not, because after like a back and forth, pretty damn good match, the Usos got the first fall, and then they got the second one. Like, the first one took a minute. There was so much action. And then it's kind of like they got the one fall, and then they just got another one, and, they got lucky on that second one, and that's all they needed. And I think that's the end of that rivalry, because you can't, like, say, Sheldon and Gable, they obviously should have had the title already, but they don't. It's kind of another weird booking decision, but, it is what it is. Plus, the Usos had a DUI on their side of the team, so that usually means people lose championships. But for whatever reason, they didn't lose, and they're still the champions, and they're going on, possibly to WrestleMania as champions. I love the current Usos. They're really good. I like the days where I just really assimilated them with Roman, and they're like this babyface tag team. Those days are so long ago now. Like, this new incarnation, I've really enjoyed. They're so, like, just their presence, their attitude, their, like, concept design, like, their outfits and stuff, it all boils together well. And it makes for, like, easy promos. It makes for, like, a tag team that can fight anybody. Like, I can see them versus, like, the New Day. I can see them fighting the Bludgeon Brothers, the Fashion Files, all of them. So I wanted the Usos to win, so I'm not, like, upset with this choice, but, I like Shelton Benjamin a lot, so it's kind of shitty to see him come back just to get thrown into this mediocre tag team. Not mediocre, but in this, tag team that doesn't win the belt after this really long rivalry. But it is what it is. Still, like, not a bad match. And on the other tag team front, we had Seth Rollins, the boy, who I'm repping today, and he was paired with Jordan, and they fought the Bar. I thought and wanted Seth and Jason to win, just because, I don't like the flip-flop belt changes. And the Bar, like, I'm, like, as much as I like the Bar, like, I'm okay with seeing them. Like, I kind of want the end to that relationship, or the end to, like, I want to see their last title reign already. I hope this is it. But in this match, Jason had, like, a kayfabe concussion, and he was, just sitting outside the ring. He tagged himself back in, but he's like, I can't do it. He's supposed to be this little bitch boy. And, Seth, he gets double teamed. Jason is nowhere to break the pin, and that's the end of the match. Really bad night for Seth. He's wearing these shitty-ass ugly pants in the Rumble. Gets eliminated pretty quickly in the Rumble, considering, and, loses the tag belt. It's really bad night for him. And again, he's dressed really, I really hated those pants. They were pretty bad. I hopefully they get something for him to do at Mania. Hopefully he's not just fighting Jason Jordan. That'd be that sounds like a pre-show match, if anything. But that's where they went with this. Not like a terrible decision. I'm not like, ooh, why did the Bar win? I like the Bar. You know, it's weird seeing Jason and Seth hold the belt anyway, and usually like the tag teams that are made up of random guy 1 and random guy 2, they usually never hold the belt that long. So, you know, this isn't like a bad decision. I think it's just kind of unexpected. And again, this so much of these promos lead up to this, where I'm just kind of like, okay, okay. But again, not a bad match. And then we get into the WWE Universal title match between Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Kane. Big fuck all match. Big fuck all monster boys throwing each other around, just breaking shit. I really love this match for the sake of, you know, just the carnage. And we knew the finish. We kidded ourselves. We were like, oh, they're pushing Braun. Things are going to happen. And it didn't happen. Like every time I'm like, maybe Brock will. No. No, 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 no. No. Brock Lesnar wins. That's all that happens. For like the past fucking year, that's all that happens is Brock Lesnar wins. Thank God this didn't close the show. It was a pretty cool finish. Pretty a lot of F5s. You know, Braun and Kane look strong. That's, you know, it is what it is. I'm not upset by it. And then the final 2 matches that we're going to talk about, the men and women's Royal Rumble. I'm going to talk about the men's first. I love this match. I love the little surprise guys I didn't see coming. I didn't think the Hurricane, Rey Mysterio were going to come back. I really like the fact that Rusev, well, Rusev wasn't an Iron Man, but he was in there as #1, and he was in there for a while. I love the fact that Finn was like this Iron Man. I love the 3-on-3 old guard versus new guard showdown. That was great. I loved the Bray and Matt segment. Like, I don't like that rivalry. Like, I think they are doing like terrible decisions on that rivalry, and I think they're wasting 2 what could be legendary, wonderful characters. But it's just kind of sad. But we're not talking about that. The spots in the Rumble where they work together and then knock themselves both out, I think that's great. I think that's a really like smart way to use them. And then we had a lot of other spots. I liked the Heath Slater gag where everyone was beating him up and then he eliminates Sheamus. You know, Jinder eliminating the New Day, getting some heat there, making him look strong so he's not like just this wasted WWE champion. Kofi had another dumb trick. And even Kofi, like, I love that promo or that clip of him, wherever it is, where he's like, I'm not doing a trick every year. Like, he's like not doing this on purpose. And then, like, this time, Xavier caught his foot, and he's like, no! And then the pancakes. I love the New Day so much. And then Kofi was kind of like, really, really, and then he gets back in the match. So many good spots, so many fun things going on in this match. And there was no, like, Triple H. There was no Kurt Angle. You know, I kind of like that. I kind of feel like more of this needs to happen. You know, Roman... I predicted Roman was going to win, actually, because I knew he was going to fight Brock, so I was like, it's either Roman's winning, and that's why this isn't the last match, or someone else is going to win. And that happened to be Shinsuke, which I think is just the obvious choice. I'm not like, Shinsuke isn't my favorite dude. Even though I like, in my Survivor Series fantasy booking, I put him over as hell, because he's like the obvious choice. He's like the obvious... most interesting story we could do. AJ versus Shinsuke also is like a dream match. It's like, there's so much there to build upon. And I feel like it could just be a really boring, you know, lead up because Shinsuke can't do promos and AJ's promos aren't going to be that good. I'm hoping that they're going to get through it and they're going to do something with this. Please. I'm trying to think of some other spots that were in this match. You know, Randy Orton, thank God, got out of there. John Cena had a thing with Elias. And we had some NXT guys who were just kind of, filling slots. Sami Zayn kind of got in the Rumble for a weird reason. Kind of weird. Like, he took out, like, one of the guys, took out Ty just to get in there and lose. Like, interesting stuff just to keep your mind working through the match, but, weird things. I really liked when Elias was, he had the time to get his whole shtick in there, and it was kind of like, we're in a Rumble match, what are you doing? But, I didn't dislike it. I really liked when, I really liked towards the end there, we had the Final Four, which is John Cena and Roman Reigns, and then Shinsuke and Finn Balor. I really thought Finn, like, if he was gonna win, he was gonna be Demon, Finn. I thought that would have been cool. But that's not what happened. Shinsuke got the Kinshasa, and he threw out Roman. Solid. It doesn't, even if it like seems like an obvious choice, that's not a bad thing. Just make it interesting, please. And I thought, it was interesting. Shinsuke's being weird the entire match. He's like, yeah, he's got his blood mouth guard in. Great stuff. I love this match. I really did. And then we had the Women's Royal Rumble, the first ever Women's Royal Rumble, and we started off with Sasha and Becky. Both of them should have been Iron Women. Becky, like, my girlfriend's, that's her favorite person, is Becky. So whenever they shit on her, it like breaks my heart a little bit. And Sasha was in it the whole time. The Bellas came back, both of them. We had Jacqueline, we had Trish, we had Lita. So many choices, and we didn't even use all of the female roster. We didn't even use like Alicia Fox and a couple other ones. It's kind of like they just sent a bunch of phone calls out, and then whoever like made it back. The false, like, each of these Rumbles had a bad guy. Like, Roman Reigns was the bad guy that we didn't want, and even though it satisfies the market for people who like Roman Reigns, and it satisfies the market for people who like the Bellas, they obviously didn't have any of the bad guys win. We had the obvious bad guys who are like, for people like me, like, oh no, Nikki Bella, oh no, Roman Reigns, got tossed out in the end for a big final pop. We had Bayley get eliminated by Sasha. I really hope that was a signal for this heel turn. She's working with the Bellas, really looking like a heel. I really hope that she's heel now, because that seemed to be the vibe I was getting. I would really love a Bayley-Sasha match. I think that's the one way you can use them for Mania, but I don't know how many women's matches are going to be on the card, so I'm kind of holding my breath on that. Otherwise, we had Asuka coming at 25, I believe, and, fuck some shit up, and then she won. Really, that's how I wanted it to go. I think Asuka's the most interesting, like Shinsuke, was the most interesting choice, the most interesting story at the moment. Used it right. She got pretty big pop, took out the Bellas, or she took out one of them. Nikki eliminated Brie. I thought that was cool. Yeah, glad there was no Stephanie McMahon. Glad there was no the usual BS that comes with these things. And then we had the showdown in the ring. I forgot to mention, Shinsuke immediately was like, AJ. Yeah, I want AJ. I'm glad we're coming back to where the winner of the Royal Rumble gets to choose which championship he goes for. Whereas last year, Randy just kind of floated and then went on to fight Bray. Worst rivalry of all time. I very much like this image of Asuka in the ring with like the champions, and she decides, and then before she decides, Ronda Rousey comes out. We really thought Ronda Rousey was gonna be this big, like, we thought she was gonna win, which pisses me off and excites me at the same time. Like, all I give a shit about are good stories, and Ronda Rousey could have been an amazing story. She came out and Roddy Piper gear. You know, I don't know how much of the product she knows about. I don't know if she watches wrestling. You kind of just hope with these things, but if she was a wrestling fan, it doesn't really matter in the end. But, you know, if she won, I would have been okay with that. I think I prefer Asuka, but I do like the idea of Ronda Rousey, like, being in this big title match. So, how are we going to put her in there? She's just going to come out and point at the sign, kind of awkwardly, shake Stephanie McMahon's hand. Like, I don't know why Steph is cool with people who, like, fuck her up at Mania, just interrupting these big Royal Rumble matches, but whatever. Whatever. Cool way to end the night. I was definitely okay with it. I'm super interested to see where they take Ronda. How, like, is she a part-timer or not? All these questions. I have so many questions. That's what I love about the Rumble. There's so many, like, oh, what are they gonna do here? Here, I don't even know. I don't even know. And there's so many other cool spots in this match. I loved Natalya and Beth Phoenix, who also returned. That's when I was like, I'm not taking a shot for every time someone comes back, because there's been like 15 random motherfuckers. Yeah. I really like the spot with Nikki and Trish. That was so good. And Trish did the thing, and she did that. Just little things like that. I love. You know, we had Asuka, Ember Moon. She made fun of her arm. All these little moments were so great. Uh, I really love those two matches. I adored them. And I think the right people got what they deserved. We finally had two full-time wrestlers who everyone or most people like, and they won the Rumble. Like, how often does that happen nowadays? And overall, those two matches made the night for me. Everything else was, you know, alright. And pretty good, alright kind of status. Like, nothing. We treaded water, and then we made some big splashes. Nothing wrong with that. And I think I just had such a fun time. You know, part of the fun of these pay-per-views is, like, how much hype are you putting into it, and whether or not they're gonna let you down or not. And, you know, you know, these big things, like, you know, I could have been upset about, like, the WWE match. I could have been upset about this back and forth thing with the bar. But none of that bothered me last night. I had an amazing time, and this pay-per-view made it all the more possible. And I'm gonna use a cliche line that everyone uses. A good pay-per-view is one that, like, makes you want to watch Raw the next night. And I can't watch Raw right now because like, I don't have cable anymore, and it's a struggle, and, like, it's airing right now. But that being said, I'm very excited to see what happens. I haven't been this excited for wrestling in a while. And now that that's finally out there, I think I'm going to close this video out. I'm so excited to see what they do for Mania this year. What a great Rumble. Like, so many little moments. Like, even though you could say, oh, all it really had was the Royal Rumble, like, how many, like, things were in that Rumble? And I didn't even talk about Dolph Ziggler as number 30. You know, sure, we didn't think Dolph left. Some people speculated he was going to return. Some people speculated he was going to win. Versus AJ, you know, not a bad decision there either. But it's a cool story. Like, the idea of him vacating this belt and leaving, he's too good. Like you don't deserve me. Fits his character. It's a good story, even if, like, the internet wrestling community kind of ruins these types of things. And then he comes back in the number 30 slot. Like, is it just because it's Dolph Ziggler that's why it's not cool? I don't know. Anyway, I went on another tangent. I'm sorry. What a great Rumble match. Had a great time. And yeah, that'll be it. And with that, I leave you.